Hey boys and girls, today we're going to begin weaving and I hope you're very excited. We have done weaving before. Last year we did paper weaving. This year we're going to do some weaving with yarn. And before we can start to weave, we must set up our loom. A loom is something that you weave on. A loom can be made out of different things. Last year it was made out of paper. This year we're going to make our loom out of cardboard. And so for this loom setup, you are going to need a piece of cardboard, a ruler, a marker, scissors, tape, and some yarn. Okay, so go get those items before you begin. I recommend for your loom size for your cardboard a 6-inch by 9-inch piece of cardboard. Okay, that way your loom is big enough that if you want to weave something a little larger, you can, or you can stop when you think your weaving is a decent size and be finished. But this will give you a decent loom size to work with. So 6 inches by 9 inches, it's a rectangle. So your long side is 9 inches and your short side is 6 inches. So I'll go over that. So here I have my piece of cardboard. Okay, and I'm going to use my ruler. Make sure it's the right way here. Okay, and I'm going to line my ruler up at the end. Make sure you guys can see this. Sorry, I'm working backwards here. Okay, there we go. So 6 inches by 9 inches. So I'm going to do my long side first. So my ruler starts at 0. I'm going to come over here to 9 and make a little mark. And then I'm going to bring my ruler this way and mark it at the 6. Okay. So this side is also going to be 9 inches. So 9 inches, 9 inches. So I'm starting here where I left off, and it goes all the way to the end of the cardboard. Okay, so then I'm going to cut my cardboard, and if you have a heavier piece of cardboard, you might need an adult to help you do this. But I'm just going to cut out my cardboard. Okay, so now I have my 6-inch by 9-inch piece of cardboard, and next thing I need to do is I need to mark some little hash lines on the top and the bottom. So we're going to make our loom run skinny and tall. So I'm holding it vertically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler again, and I'm going to mark every inch. So I'm going to end up with 6 little lines at the top and the bottom. Right, so I'm going to mark at the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 hash marks on the top and then 5 on the bottom. Now I want them to line up, so I need this bottom hash mark to line up with this top one that I just did. So the easiest way to do that then is to line up my ruler with the line, and then I don't need to draw a straight line, I just need to make another little mark at the end here so that they're even. Hopefully you can see that there, that this line matches up with this line. So then I'm going to repeat that all the way across. And I'll do that, and then I'll catch back with you in a sec. All right, so now you can see that I have my 5 lines on the top and the bottom. They line up on the short side. So I'm holding my loom vertically up and down, and now I'm going to cut on these little marks. So I'm just going to take my scissors and cut down into that hash mark on the top and the bottom. And again, if you need an adult to help you for this, our yarn is going to sit inside of these hash marks, so just make sure they're deep enough that the yarn can sit in. I'm going to do the other side and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have my cut marks made at the top and the bottom, and now I need my yarn. So I'm going to get any color yarn will work. We're going to be setting up what is called the warp in a weaving, and the warp threads in a weaving run vertically up and down. So you can see my arrows here, warp up and down. So we are going to take a piece of yarn. Now I have my yarn actually connected to my yarn ball. You're not going to need this much yarn, but you are going to need a decent amount to set up your loom. So I don't recommend cutting the yarn, just kind of have it and keep it in a ball that you have. And you're going to take the one end of your yarn and you're going to tape it to the back of your loom. Doesn't matter what side the back is. You just want to tape it good so it doesn't fall off. So, and I'm just going to tape it at the end here. Okay, at this point we would also write our name and class code on the back. All right, so now we are going to take this. So this is the back. I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to loop it and put it in one of those slots right there. So I'm taking it from the back, sticking it in one of the slots, and now I'm going to bring it around to the front. Okay, so I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to pull it so it's pretty tight, right? We don't want this to be real loosey-goosey here. We want it to be pretty tight, okay, not chokingly tight, but tight enough that it just goes straight across to this other little slot here. And I'm going to put that yarn in there. Then I'm going to flip it over. Okay, now you would think that I'm going to take it across the back too. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to go to this next slot right here, and I'm going to slide it down in that little slot, flip it back to the front. So the front of my loom is where all of my warp threads are going across. So again, I'm going to pull it tight so it's not loosey-goosey. Slide it in that slot over here, flip it to the back, and move to the next slot. So my back should not have any warp threads going across. I'm going to move over to this next slot here, flip it back over to the front, and then come across. I'm going to repeat that step until I get all the way across to the other side. Once you've made it all the way across, okay, here is the front of my loom. I have my warp threads running vertically up and down. Just double check on the back that you don't have any running up and down. If you do, you'll have to pull them out and just fix it. And then I am going to cut my yarn and tape that end on the back as well. Okay, and that is all you need to do to set up your loom. Now you are ready to weave.